Hey guys, it's Dan with Adventuring Today. Hope you're doing great. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about tires for your travel trailer. And so we bought a Mesa Ridge travel trailer. It came with decent tires on it, probably on the higher end for tires to come on a travel trailer like this. They're made by Westlake. They're Westlake STs. They're E-range. I'm going to show you those here in a few minutes. And they've done pretty well. I've got 4,500 miles on those tires. We haven't had any issues. They haven't been leaking air. Everything has been working pretty good on them, actually. But at nearly 5,000 miles, I feel like they are still, at the end of the day, a Chinese bomb. And a little bit nervous about running them much longer, especially with the summer months coming up here and running them in, the summer heat. I think it's probably better off just to make a switch and try to upgrade a little bit. So what I found when I was doing my research, there were really two tires that were getting pretty strong recommendations. One was from Goodyear, which is the one that I purchased. It's a Goodyear tire, and the name of the tire, if you can read this, is called Endurance, the Endurance tire. Pretty good name when they're trying to create a tire that is addressing all the problems with these Chinese tires. Make it run the endurance, make it be a durable, have endurance, go the extra mile. It's probably pretty good marketing on their part. The other tire is a Maxxis B8008. I considered buying that one. It also was made overseas. I believe it's made in South Korea. These Goodyears are made here in the United States, and if I get a chance to buy something made in the United States, everything else being equal, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we went with these Goodyear tires. They're getting installed tomorrow, and I'm pretty excited about getting these on and seeing how they do. So Goodyear tried to add a couple technologies to make these tires, help these tires address the problems with the China versions. It's got what's called Scuff guard technology. So the outside wall of the tire is designed in a way to help prevent against scuffing, coming up against curbs and so forth. And then the other one, if you can read this, is called featuring Dura technology. And what they're trying to do there is really give that sidewall strength, so that if you do hit a big pothole or you hit a sharp object in the road, that you're not going to suffer a blowout. There's some things that are just unavoidable, but Goodyear tried to put everything they could into this tire to help prevent those things, so you could have reliable performance and get you where you want to go. The last thing we want is to have a problem with our trailer. If we're going off on a weekend adventure or off on a vacation with the family, you just don't want your trailer to have any kind of problems like that. So for me, these were a little bit less than $500. I got a great deal at Tire Rack. They were $497 delivered. I got them in less than 24 hours. Just amazing service from Tire Rack, and the tires are fantastic. So my Westlakes have a load range that's the exact same as this. They're load range E. So they're pretty heavy duty tires from a load perspective, but the speed rating was a L. And so if you print off on the internet, you can find these guides that will tell you exactly what all this means. And so load range L, or speed rating L, is 75 miles per hour. Well, most of the highways around us are around 70 miles per hour. I like to run the trailer at around 66, 67, maybe 68. That's about it. I find that speed works pretty well. Let semi-trucks slowly pass me. It helps me with merging traffic on the highway and so forth. And at that speed, it pretty much minimizes as much as I can the changing of lanes, and rather just stay in one lane and get there safely. So don't try to push it too much. But these tires have a speed rating of N, and so I thought that was a nice feature. It was an attractive feature that I wanted in a tire, something with a little bit of a higher speed rating. So that means they're rated up to 87 miles per hour. So I'm going from 75 to 87. So I've got a little bit of a buffer. If I need to pass somebody and run it up to 75 miles per hour, I can do that with pretty good confidence that we're going to be okay. Let's face it, every once in a while, a situation like that might occur. Now I know we've got a little bit of more margin of safety within the tire. The load range is exactly the same as the Westlakes. I'm sure one version's load range of a tire, one company's load range is is maybe a little bit better than another one. I don't know, but that's just a guess. And so I think the idea behind these is to really is to provide as much protection as we can for the family as we're driving down the road. So the tread, I really like the tread on the tires also. This the design of the tread I thought was really fantastic. It's nice and clean. There are not a lot of grooves in the tread, and I thought the siping was looked like pretty smart technology to me. This is about 8/32 of tread depth. So in a trailer tire, you don't want a real deep tread because that just generates more heat. So this is a nice tread, should do a great job evacuating water, tracking very straight down the road, and should be pretty quiet. So there's a lot of technology built into this. You can learn a lot more about it on the Goodyear website. I'm not here to really talk to you about that today. I just wanted to share with you a couple of the ideas that we had around why we wanted to make this upgrade, and talk a little bit about what I found when I was searching for tires and so forth. So I wanted to keep the load range the same, of course, and then I wanted to increase the speed rating, and I got that with these Goodyears. You could also get that to some degree with the Maxxis, although I just like these a little bit better. And I could get these through Tire Rack, which I also appreciated because I buy most of my tires for my vehicles through Tire Rack. I've always had good luck with them. And so anyway, I'm going to show you here in a few minutes the tires from Westlake and give a little report on how those have worn since we bought them. So stay tuned. Hey guys, real quick, last item on these Goodyears, wanted to weigh them. So let's weigh these tires real quick. Give away some secrets here about Dan Gilo. All right, so got my scale out here, and I'm gonna step on it. I'm gonna weigh myself. About 257, we'll call that 257. Now I'm gonna pick up the tire. I'm gonna hop back on it again. Gotta push the button, get it started. Here we go. I'm gonna step on it. Should come out to about 35 pounds. Let's see. You can see that. It's about 292. So my math says that's about 35 pounds per tire. So I'm gonna have these installed on the travel trailer. I'm gonna have my installer let me take one of the old tires back home and do a quick little review on that. Also going to weigh it, and we'll see how that goes and see what we can find. So, hey guys, how's it going? Okay, so I am back at it here, continuing my review of these trailer tires, and I just had my Goodyears put on my travel trailer, and I had the dealership hold back one of my original equipment tires, and so here it is. This is it's a Westlake, and see that here? It's a Westlake tire. Which is, I would say these are probably a little bit better than like a Toe King or a Trail King trailer tire. This is a 10 ply tire. It's pretty heavy duty. These are the same size as what I put on my trailer, so I didn't change the size. 225/75 R15s. If you can see this, the speed rating is 75 miles per hour. The ones I put on, if you remember, are 87, so a little bit higher. But a couple things I wanted to show you with these tires is, number one, how flexible they are. So a big difference between the tires that I bought and these tires. I mean, the sidewalls are just super, super flexible. I mean, it doesn't take much pressure at all. I mean, this is one finger and I can just push this sidewall in. So, this is why these Chinese tires are more prone to blowouts, and why those Goodyears I bought, the whole focus on those tires is a strong sidewall and trying to increase the durability of those sidewalls. These are just really, really soft, and they're much more prone to blowouts, especially if you make the major mistakes that a lot of folks make, which is, number one, leaving trailer tires on their trailers for too long. Number two, running their tires either underinflated, which is the worst mistake you can do, or overinflated can be bad too. But if you're gonna choose one or the other, choose overinflation rather rather than under inflation. And then the third mistake that people make is they just just abuse the tires. They just drive too fast for conditions. You're on a rough, bumpy road, and people don't slow down. They still stay right around the speed limit, and it's just rough on these tires. So these tires, when they're new, they come with 30 seconds of tread depth. So probably kind of hard to see here. So again, I brought my trusty tire depth gauge so that you can try to get a feel here for the tread depth on these. These are measuring about 830 seconds around the horn. Not too bad. This one is 730 seconds. So, this one's at 8. So these tires have just under 5,000 miles on them. They've got about, I think the number was about 4,500 miles on them. When they're new, they've got 30 seconds of tread depth, so you should always take the smallest number, so we'll use the 730 seconds. If you run that down to, say, 430 seconds, and it wore the same all the way down to 430 seconds, what we're looking at right now is about 1,500 miles per 130 seconds. So you would have approximately 6,000 additional miles on these tires until, most people would probably deem them to be unsafe to take on the highway. So with these tires, I'm pulling a 10,000 dry weight trailer, and when it's loaded down, we're probably pushing about 11,000 pounds. So we're, like we say, we're going through about 1,500 miles per 30 seconds. So we've got about 6,000 miles to go, and I left these tires on the trailer. Now we're just, occasional weekend RVers, and we've had this trailer since September, but we've already put 4,500 miles on these tires. I can't imagine if you're a full-timer towing every couple weeks, hundreds and hundreds of miles, and putting 15, 20,000 miles a year. These tires just will not cut it. You could buy a brand new trailer, have these tires come on it as original equipment, think, I can get a couple years out of them, and there's no way these tires are going to last that long. And that's why people are having blowouts. So these Chinese tires, they're not as high quality as something you can get from like a Maxxis or a Goodyear, especially in this 15-inch size. But there's a lot of things that trailer owners can do to make their travels safer if they're driving on these tires. And number one is you have to be meticulous about your tire pressure. If there's a 20-degree temperature change outside, go out before you start traveling that day, check the temperature of the tires. You have to do it. You have to keep the tire pressures where they need to be. Number two, like I said earlier, if you're on really bad roads, slow down. Do whatever you can to avoid bumps, avoid potholes, and just take it easy. If you get to your destination a half hour later because you slowed down a little bit, it's a lot better than having a blowout and losing 4 or 5 or 6 hours to get to where you need to go. The other thing that you can do is you can purchase online a relatively inexpensive but highly effective tire pressure monitoring system. There's a bunch of them out there. Just hop on Amazon, you can find them. Quality ones range from around $80 on up to, you can spend $400 or $500 on these systems. If you buy a nice medium in the road one, $150, maybe $200. Not only will they tell you the tire pressure, but they also tell you the tire temperature. And there's some vital information you can have to measure and maintain your tires the best they can be. Not saying you shouldn't do all those things if you've got one of these other higher quality tires, let's say from Goodyear, which is the one that I picked, but there's a lot that people can do with these Chinese tires to make them safer if you're going to run those longer term. Of course, my recommendation is, I upgraded my tires for less than $500 installed. You can do the same thing, and it's probably a pretty good insurance policy. So anyway, that's just a quick review there on these Westlakes. They were very reliable for me. I never had air leaks, never had any problems with them. I did change them out because I wanted to have a little bit of additional margin of safety, a little higher speed rating, a little more durable tire, just to try to avoid problems down the road. But if you are running these Westlakes, just go easy on them. Be careful. Take care of your tire pressure. Be meticulous with maintaining that, and you'll probably be okay for a few thousand miles. But when you get up to 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 miles on them, I would seriously consider switching them out to a different tire. So thank you very much.